Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Yellow. Last time, we continued our conquest of the Team Rocket Game Corner, slash hideout, slash terminology, and this time we are going to be wrapping up in this area. One thing worth noting, I healed up our team and I swapped Ivysaur into the front. You will see why very, very shortly. But anyway, somewhere in this room is actually a hidden item, and I want to make sure I know exactly where it is. It's right there, a super potion. Very nice, and very, very, very useful for the fight we're about to do. Alright, let's head right on over to this side of him, I guess. I'm thinking about the thumbnail in the future, in case you couldn't tell. And let's talk to whoever this is. So, I must say, I am impressed you got here. And here we go. This is the one, the only, Team Rocket leader, Giovanni. This guy is definitely interesting in terms of the lore of the Pokemon universe, but I'm not going to be getting into it until much later because pretty much all of it's a spoiler considering we just met this guy. Anyway, he is using a guard special, which I believe protects against critical hits, but the thing is, it's an Onix. I'm an Ivysaur. I'm going to win this. And Ivysaur gets level 27. Very good. I could have also gone with Wartortle, but Ivysaur was lower leveled, and I was still pretty confident that it would be able to handle itself, and it looks like I was right so far. So I put in Ivysaur into the front, and it looks like Vine Whip is also going to bring down Rhyhorn in one hit. This guy really likes to train ground types, as you're probably going to be able to tell as we encounter him more and more throughout the game. Anyway, exclusive to Yellow, he actually has a Persian, which is not a ground type under any meaning of the word. It is actually a normal type, and it is here as a reference to the anime, because of course it is. In Red and Blue, in place of this Persian would actually be a Kangaskhan, which I personally feel would be a more difficult Pokemon to fight. So, honestly, Persian being here, I'm actually pretty happy about. Plus, as you saw just earlier, it could very well use Payday on you, and then you make a little bit more money when you inevitably beat him. What? This cannot be. And he gives us quite a bit of money, and we pick up quite a bit more. I see that you raise Pokemon with utmost care. A child like you would never understand what I hope to achieve. I shall step aside this time. I hope we meet again. And he leaves behind that item ball right there. Now, before I pick it up, I want to point out that in Twitch Plays Pokemon, Twitch defeated Giovanni, and before picking up that item ball, they opened up their menu and they used Dig, which does work. So they had to walk all the way back down here to grab the Sylph Scope, and honestly, I would not trust Twitch's coordination to pull off the glitch that allows you to skip needing that item. So yeah, that was a pretty tragic event in the lore of Twitch Plays Pokemon. I felt so bad for them. I felt so bad for them when that happened, because honestly, I followed the playthrough pretty closely, so whenever something tragic like that happened, oh, it hurt. I never actually participated, even though I had an account, but I did watch. Anyway, let's head right on up here, and I think we're going to exit this door. Now, in terms of where we need to go next actually is not in Celadon City, so I'm going to do a little bit of an editing magic, and 1, 2, 3, and poof, here we are. We are now in Lavender Town, because that is actually where we need to go next. Now, in between that very, very ninja jump cut, I deposited the coin case and the lift key into the PC, because honestly, I can't see myself needing them anymore. New Sylph Scope. Make the invisible plain to see. Sylph Company. Yep, that is what we needed it for, because there's going to be something invisible pretty soon that we need to reveal the identity of. May the souls of Pokemon rest easy. Pokemon Tower. This is indeed where we need to go next, and this is why everyone has horror stories about Lavender Town, because A, this color scheme, ugh, creepy, and the evil music, and also the fact that this is a Pokemon graveyard. Really, really heavy stuff, and I'm pretty sure never again has Pokemon gone quite this heavy-handed in terms of the graveyards that are always featured in Pokemon games. A little creepy, believe it or not. Pokemon Tower was erected in the memory of Pokemon that had died. I am a channeler. There are spirits up to mischief. Yeah, a little bit of weird black magic going on in this area, and I think the game actually mentions the term black magic outright at some point in here, so yeah. Really, really creepy stuff. Anyway, upstairs we have this area, and I'm not sure, but I don't think we can actually bypass this fight that we're going to actually wind up having to do. Hey, David, what brings you here? Your Pokemon don't look dead. I can at least make them faint. Let's go, pal. Ugh. Like, the whole atmosphere in here is supremely unsettling, and of course, there's a Fearow out front when I have my Ivysaur out front. That's a little bit awkward, so we're gonna switch here. Alrighty. Now, something you are going to notice as we inevitably make our way through this fight. You're going to notice that Blue's team is a little bit different than it was that when we fought him on the SS Anne. You're going to notice that he is -1 Raticate. Considering the area we're in and the area that we found Blue in, feel free to take that how you will. Really, really creepy stuff if the implication is in fact intentional. Anyway, Vulpix coming out next. Water Gun's going to be a good match for this guy. And down it goes. Not quite, though. And of course, Roar doesn't work again. I think... have we had Roar from the opponent actually work one time in this Let's Play? Because I'm pretty sure we've seen it several times. Or at least a variation of it, because Whirlwind is identical to Roar in its function. Alright, we have a Magnemite coming out next. I think I'm going to switch over to Charmeleon for this one, even though it's not Steel-type yet. Definitely don't want Wartortle out there, because we might have some issues with it using Electric-type moves on us. So let's just use Ember, like we always do, and try and bring it down the best we can. Alright, take a Tackle, and one more Ember, and he should be gone. And then I believe his last Pokemon is going to be his Eevee, which might have evolved? Oh no, he has a Sandshrew. I'll be honest, I completely forgot that that Sandshrew even existed. Not really surprising, it looks like it's only level 20, so it looks like a Pokemon that Blue only recently caught and is trying to train, which is interesting. And Water Gun is a critical and brings it down in one hit. Very good. Very, very good. And Wartortle gets level 30. Very nice. We're going to see some evolutions on the team here pretty darn soon, I think. And wow, his Eevee actually hasn't evolved yet. That is pretty surprising to me. I would have expected it to evolve by now, but I guess he just hasn't elected to do so. Maybe he hasn't been to Celadon yet, because I believe I mentioned this last time. You can buy the Evolution Stones sans the Moonstone at the department store in Celadon, which I haven't shown off quite yet, because we are going to wind up there inevitably later on in the game for something else. Anyway, down goes Eevee. And we have defeated Blue. What? You stinker. Oh man. Classic 90s writing. I took it easy on you too. And we get the cash money. How's your Pokedex coming, pal? I just caught a Cubone. I can't find the grown-up Marowak yet. I doubt there are any left. Well, I better get going. I've got a lot to accomplish, pal. Smell you later. And off he goes to be a jerk somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. Anyway, this area, I believe, is 7 floors tall, and we are currently on floor 2, and I think we actually have to fight? No, we don't have to fight this girl. Even we could not identify the wayward ghosts. A Sylph Scope might be able to unmask them. Yes, if you were to come here prior to obtaining the Sylph Scope, the wild Pokemon in the area would actually be just ghosts. However, now that we have the Sylph Scope, the wild Pokemon will take the form of the Pokemon Ghastly and Cubone. And I believe on the upper floor, well actually no, any floor, very, very rarely you might encounter Haunter, which is really cool. I believe we've seen all of these Pokemon already. If we have not, the characters in this area will almost assuredly use them, so I think I want to switch my Pokemon, actually. Gonna switch Pikachu into the front, because Grass does not do very well on the poison types that Ghastly and Haunter are. So we're just gonna be exploring this area, slowly but surely. So yeah, this is pretty much another long-ish dungeon area that they stick right after the long-ish dungeon area that was the Team Rocket hideout. So yeah, you got a lot of fights, a lot of really monotonous fights against very similar Pokemon right in a row right here. And man, Nightshade has a long animation. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, because in this area, believe it or not, there are only 3 ghost Pokemon in Generation 1, and I'm pretty sure in this area you will only ever see 2 of them, so you're only going to be fighting Ghastly, Haunter, and the occasional Cubone in this area. Pretty monotonous stuff. Even more so if you do not have a Repel, which I definitely recommend, because fighting Ghastly over and over and over again can get pretty tedious, as you might imagine, so we're going to be going through here with a Repel up. Alright, this person only has 1 Pokemon, which is nice. Most of the people in here only have like 1 or 2 Pokemon, because a team of like 5 Ghastly, that could get a little tedious pretty quickly. So I don't think we have to worry about it too terribly much. But unfortunately, because we have a lot of characters in this area that only have 1 Pokemon, we're going to be fighting a lot of trainers because the game balances it out. Right through here we have a 3rd trainer. And all of the characters in this area have really, really creepy dialogue. Some of them even indicate that they might actually be possessed, which is really messed up. And as you might imagine, in later Pokemon games, as the series got more popular, they had to make things a little more not cultist, so you never really see an area like this in future Pokemon games outside of the remake Fire Red and Leaf Green. I mean, there's still graveyard areas, but you're not going to run into areas with people saying weird spiritual stuff, talking about black magic, and actually using the term dead/die so liberally, just because it's a little freaky for a kid's game, as it were. Alright, unfortunately Pikachu goes down to Nightshade relatively quickly. Nightshade is actually a pretty good move. The way Nightshade works is it will actually do damage in hit points equal to the user's level, and since the users in here are all around like the level 25 mark, 3 or 4 Nightshades can KO pretty much everything on your team at this point, which you definitely have to keep an eye out for, because it could get pretty bad for you if you don't pay attention to that. Also, I'm realizing very quickly that Nidorino is pretty much useless in this area, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to switch it way out into the back. And this is probably going to be the last trainer we fight in this episode. Be cursed with me. Yeah, like, you see that? There's some just really creepy dialogue in this area. Channeler wants to fight and sends out Ghastly. Alright. And up next on our side is Charmeleon. And I really, really, really wish Charmeleon would get a better fire-type move. You know what? I'm going to look it up real quick right here. When does Charmeleon get a good move? Because honestly, at this point, Ember I would not consider to be a good move. And I think people would agree with me on that when I say it. Alright, let's see here. Alright, make it through that Pokemon, and we have a Ghastly. Oh my god, we don't get another decent move until level 33 when we learn Slash. That's really disappointing, and it's according to this we learned Flamethrower at level 42, which will probably be even later once we inevitably evolve into Charizard, although I might actually not evolve my Charmeleon until 42 to get Flamethrower. I don't know when Charizard gets Flamethrower, but I feel like it's something I should at least entertain the idea of. Yeah, And also, I'm realizing I don't think Flamethrower is actually a TM in this game, which is really, really disappointing. And man, the Pokemon in this area do a lot of damage. Ugh. Like, that's hurting. I am hurting from this area, so let's try Water Gun. Maybe Water Gun will work out. Sort of. Oh god, he's using Lick. Unfortunately, I think Lick still has its paralyzing properties in Red, Blue, and Yellow, so we have to watch out for quite a few status effects in this area. Man, they just keep on dishing out the confusion. That's really disappointing. And I was really hoping they wouldn't dish out confusion so often. But honestly, I'm not sure what I expected from this area. Because when you get Ghastly and Haunter, you're gonna get confusion flying around. But it looks like we got decently lucky. Down it goes. Gain our experience, and we have defeated the Channeler. What? Oh, this dialogue. Anyway, real quick right here, I'm going to sneak in here and grab this elixir, and I think that is all we are going to be doing this time. So, this past episode of Pokemon Yellow, we defeated Giovanni in the Team Rocket hideout at the Game Corner in Celadon City. We also obtained the Sylph Scope, which we are going to need to navigate through this entire area, the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. And next time on Pokemon Yellow, we are going to be navigating even further through this area, and we might actually finish it. I don't actually know how long this area is, so we might finish it, we might not. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Ghost ガス状ポケモン高さ 1.3 メートル重さ 0.1 キログラム薄いガス状の生命体ガスに包まれるとインドゾウも2秒で倒れる